Hello. Today we are going to talk about the assessment of an actual entrepreneur. His traits, behaviors, experiences and influences together with the innovation and creativity. I'm Aishath Raheem.
I'm Ahmed.
The entrepreneur we have chosen is Mr. Ahmed Ibrahim. He started his own business in the name of Member in 1990. Later, he developed his business to open up another shop, Member 1, in 2003. He diversified into transportation and built a boat, Hivar, in 2004, and later built his second boat, Badshah, in 2008. Recently, he opened a furniture shop, Liyafihar, as well. He does real estate business on the sidelines. Since Ali and I worked in an MSME project to develop MSMEs in Kurdufushi, we have had the opportunity to guide and help Mr. Ahmed in numerous ways while we worked on the project. That is one of the reasons we selected him to this project. Mr. Ahmed is a person noted for his mentorship. He was a good fit to analyze and evaluate. He is remarkable in his business and achieved a lot on his own. It interested us to research into his success. Due to his presence in diverse industries made it more sensible to choose him for this assignment.
I'm going to talk about Mr. Ahmed's traits, behavior and experience. Before going into the traits, behavior and experience models, it is important to know what entrepreneurial behavior is. Entrepreneurial behavior is defined as the motives and acts enabling entrepreneurs to reach decisions in their roles as creators of profitable opportunities and as exploiters of those opportunities. Entrepreneurs exhibit many different personality types. Searching for a specific personality pattern is very difficult. There are probably as many personality variety among entrepreneurs. First, we are going to look at why traits, behavior and experience is important for an enterprise. Traits, behavior and experience defines if a person is an entrepreneur or a non-entrepreneur. The personality of entrepreneurs may be crucial for their small firm-related decision and success. Entrepreneurship is based on personality of the entrepreneur. Newer reviews and evaluation of entrepreneurship. Research suggests that personality traits of entrepreneurs may be important for entrepreneurship. Characteristics or behaviors associated with entrepreneurs are that they tend to be more opportunity-driven, demonstrate high level of creativity and innovation, and show high level of management skills and business know-how. In a similar study, it is observed that risk avoidance is stronger among entrepreneurs heading fast-growing firms than among those heading slow-growth firms. Therefore, traits, behaviors, experiences lead to the business to be more successful. To analyze the traits of Mr. Ahmed, we have used a trait theory. The basic assumptions of the theory are the entrepreneur, that is the person who decides to create a new enterprise, has a different psychological profile from the rest of this population. Successful entrepreneurs have a psychological profile different from the less successful ones. The trait theory bases its assumptions on the following factors, which are need of independence, internal locus of control, intuition, need for achievement, risk-taking propensity, and tolerance of ambiguity. To analyze the behavior and experience, we have used the behavioral theory of the entrepreneur. This approach aims at identifying, describing, and explaining the overt behaviors of the entrepreneur. The main features that have been identified through empirical research are the ability to research and gather information, the ability to identify opportunities, the ability to deal with risk, the ability to establish relationships and networks, the ability to make decisions under uncertainty and ambiguity, leadership ability, and the ability to learn from experience. We have used these to analyze the entrepreneur we have chosen later in the presentation.
Now we are going to look at the evaluation of the entrepreneur. Mr. Ahmed has shown that he is different from other entrepreneurs as he has achieved more and manages his business much effectively from others. Therefore, his indifferent psychological traits has contributed to the success of his ventures. Need for independence. This entrepreneur has it in himself to be self-employed and be independent in his activities. He has never worked for anyone other than himself. Because he has such a need for independence, his life depends on the enterprise he has built on. Need for achievement. Mr. Ahmed always takes on new challenges and innovation. He accomplishes challenges while he wanted to achieve remarkable success in transportation in the island. His need for achievement and greatness led him to build a board that broke records. Internal locus of control. Mr. Ahmed has set high internal control systems set in place. He ensures that all aspects of his projects are regularly supervised and assessed. Risk-taking propensity. Mr. Ahmed always takes calculated risks. By entering into a well-dominated transportation industry was a risk he took. The capital and other resources for him was scarce, but he took the risk. Intuition. By innovation and bringing in new trends, Ahmed is noted to be intuitive. He mentors his employees, and vast majority of his employees are employed with him for a long time. Tolerance of ambiguity. Ahmed is noted as a person who is tolerant and blend into change. Ahmed was one of the few people who gives cooperation to tax institutions. He has a flexible attitude in dealing with employees and also in adapting new technologies such as accounting and monitoring systems.
Now we are going to apply the behavioral theory on Mr. Ahmed. Ahmed always researches for market opportunities and gather information on them, such as he traveled to Korea to gather information on possibilities to introduce a bigger passenger liner. Ahmed identified market gaps in transportation and also retail hardware and furniture. He grasped the opportunity and gained the first mover advantage. Entering into new markets are always risky. However, he calculates and enters the market taking risks. The entrepreneur has developed networks and relationships with other businesses and also international dealers. He has taken quick business decisions in opportunities such as entering into real estate in Mali. The decisions to purchase a house in Mali was taken fast but with consideration. Ahmed's transactional leadership has meant higher retention of employees, much higher than the industry average in the island. Ahmed hasn't been educated, however the success of his business is solely by the use of his experience and knowledge over the years. Now we are going to look at the criticism of traits theory. Numerous empirical investigations have not always brought about consistent results on the psychological traits that define the entrepreneur. The psychological approach and the methodology and instruments used have been questioned. The traits theory of the entrepreneur can only supply a partial explanation of the phenomenon under study. The use of this theory has since diminished. As the most common psychological traits of the entrepreneur are already known, the use of this theory is considered somewhat vague and limited. The trait model is not supported by research evidence to date.
Why do we need to innovate? For any business to survive, they have to find new ways to market their products. While competition is rigorous, the business need to make changes to survive in the market. Once a business have used up a certain market, they have to diversify to other markets so that they can increase their sales and hence the profitability. The overheads increase day by day. The only way to get over it is to add value to the existing product. Now I'm going to look at why businesses hesitate to innovate. Innovation is a huge risk. There is no guarantee that the new business idea will work or would generate profit. At the same time, it is expensive. The investment needed to innovate is huge. The research and development to be conducted are a lot and it costs a ton of money. Most of the times the innovations are very different from what most businesses have been running all this time. The businesses and their people will not have enough experience to fathom the new business idea and lack motivation to try to learn new things. Now I'm going to talk about the level of Mr. Ahmed's creativity. He has opened his own furniture store in Kurdufush on 1st January 2016. There are no other shops which are exclusively for selling furniture even now. Apart from this, he also bought a house from Male which he renovated and now has rented out. Ali has already shed light to this. He has state-of-the-art accounting systems and monitoring mechanisms. While his sons now overlooks the day-to-day transactions, he always sees to it that he visits each shop at least once a day. He started importing items for his business from 2005 onwards. First, he started importing because he could not get enough items from Mali and the items were too expensive. Now, most of his goods are imported from China, Thailand, India, and Dubai. While he imports goods from other countries, he also gives opportunity to the locals to sell their products in his shop. Some of the items which are sold in his shop are kativali, forwali, and other such items. He also buys rope to sell to tourist suppliers.
To elaborate the innovations by Ahmed, diffusion of innovations theory by Gabriel Tard has been used. In this part, we are going to focus on the Ahmed's furniture shop to explain this theory of innovation. Many of other sole proprietors started businesses in Ahmed's footsteps, while going step by step of how he came into the idea of to open the furniture shop. First, awareness. He realized that many people in the island and nearby islands has to travel to the capital city to get their furniture. This is very uncomfortable to the customers. Since he owns his own passenger line, he had an idea of how much demand there is for furniture. Most of the items are transported via his port. Interest. Since it piqued his mind, he started gathering information. He took help from his 3 sons. They visited Thailand to find suppliers. Evaluation. After carefully evaluating the target market and demand for the products, he decided to open a furniture store. Trial. He rented a building which was already built as a showroom. The rent was a bit higher as the land area was also bigger than the usual stores. First, he ordered few items from each type: bedroom, bathroom sets, kitchen items, dining tables and tiles. Adoption. The business boomed better than he had hoped. Now they import items every month and make orders via emails. They only visit abroad when they have to find new items.
All theories has its own limitations. As such, these are the critical evaluation of the theory we used. Diffusion is difficult to quantify. It's extremely difficult to measure what exactly causes adaptation of innovation. Pro-innovation bias implies that all innovations are positive and all innovations should be adapted. This is a one-way information flow from sender to receiver.
This is the end of our presentation.
Thank you for your time.
Thank you.